Assassin's Creed Mirage is bringing back Unity's parkour, are the headlines that have been going around, but I would keep your hope down. Like, it totally seems to be improved versus Valhalla, but I don't think it will reach Arno's level. I will tell you why in this video, talk about something from Unity that will likely play a big role, the overall open world we can explore, new info on the stealth system, and way more. Of course, if you are curious or excited for Assassin's Creed Mirage, then leaving a like on the video, it would really help me out. Subscribe to not miss any news regarding the game, and let's go. But first, the sponsor of this video, ExpressVPN, the highest rated VPN service according to many websites, and also on Trustpilot it has a 4.7 out of 5. Not using a VPN means that you are an easy target for hackers, but also your internet provider can sell your data to ad companies, which includes websites you've been to and how much time you spent on them. With ExpressVPN you are protected on all your devices, so with the highest speed versus other VPNs, and there are servers in 94 different countries. You can also use these servers to watch content that is not available in your region, like the amazing Viking TV show that is not in the US, for example. Switch to a server in Canada and bam, you can watch it. And as you might know, the prequel Vikings Valhalla is directed by the same person who will also be in charge of the Assassin's Creed Netflix show. But yeah, totally get ExpressVPN via the special link in the video description, and you then also get 3 extra months for free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. I want to thank ExpressVPN for sponsoring the video, helps me improve the channel. Now let's get back into it. Ubisoft shared this image in their trailer breakdown, and I think it's the full map of Mirage, with some wilderness outside of Baghdad as well that we can explore. It's sadly not possible to go to Samara, which is the city close by, and this is actually where Basim grew up, where he was raised by his father, the architect of the Great Mosque in that city, although another man took credit for that creation, as we learned during conversations with Basim in Valhalla. So I asked Jean-Luc Salah about this during my interview, and he told me that we will sadly not see this play out in Mirage. We start as a 17-year-old Basim who has things to do at the beginning and events unfold, and he won't have too much time to think about his past. I always thought the story behind his father was pretty interesting, but seems like that won't be featured in this game. Now, one spot outside of Baghdad we will be able to go to is of course Alamut, the fortress of the Hidden Ones that is still under construction during this time. We know that early game missions, likely very linear story chapters, will take place inside and really close around Alamut. We are being trained, complete the ritual to become an assassin apprentice, and then return to Baghdad. So that is when the open world is available to us, and then we can likely take a horse or camel to also leave the city and return to Alamut, only not access the building anymore. So we'll be able to explore some of the assassin camps around it in the area, with the castle in the background only. But there will be some activities that the assassins will do in that area, such as training and equipment. And this info is from an interview with Arab Hardware. I also would not be surprised if this is where we can upgrade our hidden blade, as Jean-Luc Salah hinted to me. And I, by the way, also learned in that interview that we will be able to return to Alamut proper later on. So not only early game missions will take place here, but some later on in the game as well. But we will spend most of our time in Baghdad, which has multiple districts that should all feel different.
So yeah, we do have one district dedicated to knowledge, for example, so you can expect schools, you can expect a lot of things, which is going to be different to the city dedicated to market, with the bazaar, or to industrial activities, or just administrative or military.
And as you might know, Baghdad is called the Round City because of the round fortification around the center part, which is also where the most high-class citizens live. It does seem that all the districts have similar parkour opportunities, so the corner swing, the pole vault to reach longer distances. Like, Unity is their absolute goal. They're trying to reach this level with Mirage. Like, I would love that, but I think we have to keep in mind that it's still made with the Valhalla engine. So I think we can better compare it to Valhalla, and I'm sure it will be a huge step up from that, because they're also speeding up the pace of the parkour to make Basim faster versus Eivor, but I don't think it will be on the same level as Unity. I would love to be wrong though. They also compare the size of Baghdad to that of Paris from Unity, which is promising, but of course one of the most impressive features from that 2014 game was the insane amount of people on the street. And We should expect a lot of dense streets in Mirage 2, although they're still tuning it. We have optimized our character technology and appearance and can generate a lot, but it's not interesting when there's too much of a crowd, so we're trying right now to balance the fun. Like, while impressive, of course having too many people on the street would only slow you down, so I totally get where they're coming from, and I'm also curious if there will be a difference in the crowd density on Xbox One and PS4 versus the next-gen versions of the game. Now, we already know that social stealth will play a big role in Mirage, which of course goes hand in hand with these larger crowds, but we now also have a wanted system inside the city. It's quite new. You can be food chased inside the city. You also have crowd blending, but the crowd can sometimes recognize you if you were wanted. So we have all these interactions. I already told you how the combat in Mirage will work in my previous video, including the weapons and outfits we can use. I will leave a link to that one at the end of this one. But yeah, still running, using tools and then hiding should be a better tactic in this game to get away from the many guards. We already saw some variants in the opening of the trailer versus the later section. We are at the heart of the Empire in Mirage, so it will be close to the red coats from AC3. In Mirage, colorful guards, they are the regular army, but we do also have different types of other factions. So you can expect those guys, swordmen, spearmen, archers, big chunky guys, and also someone who seems to like fire. While it was a cinematic trailer, they did actually use quite a lot of assets from the game. Like, we will totally encounter these exact enemies while playing, but we sadly cannot use an enemy as a living shield. That is a trailer exclusive move. But those fire enemies will be present. And it seemed kind of comparable to the bomb enemies we had in Valhalla, although hopefully they of course got some new moves. We also learned that some archetypes are able to use their horn to call reinforcements, so instead of them having to run to a bell like in Valhalla, they will now just stand still, as is also common in other Ubisoft games and even other titles like Elden Ring, for example. So it might be smart to take them out as soon as possible when sneaking around, and we've now also learned about 3 distinctive states for enemies. It's all pretty common, but it's still interesting. So you have a warning state at first, when the player can still evade pretty easily. It's just like a warning phase for the player. We have the search state, which leads NPCs to look for you and they try to investigate you. And at the end, we have the last stage, that will be the fight and conflict. And also, when one enemy spots you, it can spread to other enemies that will then also search for you. It seems that every district in Baghdad has its own Order of the Ancient Boss that we have to take out by doing a black box mission, where you of course have multiple ways to approach this target. But those missions won't be called black box, of course. It's going to be assassination contracts coming back from Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, in which you will have to take down iconic targets. And this info is also from Ahmed from Arab Hardware, and I saw some people misinterpret this. So it doesn't seem like the small go here and kill this target missions are back, but instead the more complex black box missions we saw in Unity, Syndicate, and of course most recently in Siege of Paris will be back in Mirage, but they are called assassination contracts. Like, there will be side content in this game, but they just don't want to talk about it yet. But we shouldn't expect these short AC2 and Brotherhood missions, sadly, in Mirage from the looks of it. Now, when we know more about Mirage, when they finally open up, and when we know when we can expect gameplay, I will of course be the first to tell you here, so totally subscribe to not miss anything. A like on the video would really help me out. And check out that previous Mirage video on the Prince of Persia items, the combat, and way more by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.